Then the third round coverage live on Saturday, June 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And on the 29th on Sunday, the final round at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time. And Bob Learn Jr., 24-year-old right-hander out of Erie, Pennsylvania, opts to open up on lane 27.
And everyone else chose to finish on lane 27 or learn like 28 better. And the reason was because he was having a little trouble getting the ball to finish back hard on 27 for him.
Mike, I mentioned that well, Bob Learn Jr. is a home run hitter. He's not going to waste any time trying to throw strikes, and he might leave a few things other than a 10-pin here tonight.
Well, you don't know always where it's going. But what I was struck here is that Eagle bowling in this match is 40 years old. Learn is 24. We got 16 years difference, and it shows you just the variety of Eagle strikes in the sport of bowling and how it's not just a young man's game, that Eagle is still highly competitive at age 40. There's not a lot of sports where that happens.
Mike, how much of an edge do you rate Dale Eagle, having all the experience through the years of competing on the tour in a match like this?
Well, I would rate him to have an enormous advantage, which probably negates any chances that he has at all. But
I know one thing. If you strike, that's the whole key to victory on the PBA Tour.
Eagle trying for a double to take a quick lead. And fails to carry his first light hit. He's been carrying all of those. That time he got more of the 5 than the wall shots that he was carrying before, and he didn't strike. This time he gets up and the ball gets the 5, and the 5 slides in front of the 7. Weakly. See, he just didn't get the drive on that ball that he wanted to make those pins dance. Makes a 7-pin.
On the conversion, and so he has 20 in the first. Bob Learn Jr., who told me just prior to tonight's telecast that he was very nervous, and I imagine the mouth might be a little dry at this point, even after the first strike.
Well, I'll tell you, you want that when you're in this situation. What you're thinking is you want that double, and he can be thinking aggressively now, or he can be thinking negatively, thinking, well, don't pull it, don't throw it too wide. If he's thinking like that, then he's going to have trouble. He's thinking all right, though, I'll tell you.
He is a powerhouse. He will definitely cut it loose, and he did shoot a 300 this
week. Now watch
week.
At the bottom of the swing. He really lifts this ball. Whack! Right there. Out on the lane. Not short at all. Travels out to about the 5th board, and then comes roaring back to the pocket, which is the 17th board.
It was reminiscent of the shots you used to throw on the tour.
Yeah, sure. My ball acted just like that. Trying for 3 in a row. Light. Doesn't get the 7-pin. Sounds like that ball is rumbling just a little bit, doesn't it, Dan? It might be nicking the thumb hole, or maybe rolling over the label on the ball like Houston did last week. He sure made it work, didn't he?
Now, I watched Bob through almost the entire match play portion of this week's tournament and never heard the ball roll over the thumb hole. Why is he changing now?
Well, it may not be intentional. It's just sometimes under the pressure, it gets a little harder to get that thumb out of the ball clean. At the 7-pin, no problem.
A solid spare effort.
And there's our proprietor's family there. Mac Lowry's 4 daughters, and there's Mac Lowry himself. He's been hosting this tournament here. He's been the manager here for a number of years. We've had the tournament here 12 years in a row.
Seattle, one of the oldest stops on the summer tour. This is the 24th consecutive year that the pros have bowled in Seattle. That says a lot for itself. And as you mentioned, 12 here at Leilani Lanes. Dale Eagle trying to shake loose that 4-pin. And this television pair, interesting through the years, Mike Durbin. Back in 1976, Paul Caldwell captured the PBA National Championship here and threw a gutter ball in the process.
Well, the situation, I remember that very well, as I just missed the show that particular year. And he was bowling Dave Davis, and he got up in the 10th frame. He was working on a strike, a single strike, and if he struck, he would win the match. Well, he got nervous. He didn't hit his ankle or anything. He was playing out around the 7th point, and he just threw it right in the channel. But he got himself back together. That was the worst possible thing that could happen, and he struck for the spare, and then he struck to tie the match and wound up winning it in a roll-off.
I don't know if I could do that. Had a chance to chat with Paul and Hall of Famer Wayne Zahn at the doubles in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. Both guys look great, and both guys look forward to bowling in Tucson in a couple of weeks.
Well, that's their home territory.
Dale Eagle back on course with a big strike on lane 27 in the fourth, and it looks like he's beginning to get lined up once again. He won the opening match. Back with more after this.
Around, Bob looks uptight. He just looks nervous. He needs just to get himself going, to get a couple strikes here, just to loosen up, even though he's ahead in the match.
Yearly earnings, just a fraction more than $2,000 in 1986, and he bowled basically the entire winter tour, so it's not been a good 86, but you could recoup a lot of that with a victory here this evening.
Well, you can if you're single, and he's single, so.
That's one of the big keys as well, huh?
He needs to just loosen up, get that ball off his hand a little bit cleaner. He's ahead in the match by about 8 pins.
Bowled brilliantly last night. Won his last 5 matches to secure his position on the telecast this evening. He is more than capable.
His best shot of the match right there.
Seemed to be much more in control of what he wanted to accomplish that time. Mike, very solid shot.
Very solid. He got it out wide, got around the ball very nicely that time, and it finished strong. Eagle, though, can take the lead with a double on lane 28. And Eagle right now, I look at him, he just seems to exude confidence. I just think that he feels that he's going to win. That's why. He knows that he's got a good ball reaction. He knows he's throwing it well. And he knows that the players he's competing against are inexperienced. And watch his arm swing. Comes back here. A little bit of an unusual move at the top of that swing. Kind of bounces out, but he brings it back in close to his ankle at the finish. Right over about that 8th board.
Where he has been playing most of the week here at Leilani Lanes.
All he's done is change balls. We see the scoreboard there. Eagle working on a double, ahead by 2, can increase it to 12 with 1 more on lane 27. And knocks that 10 pin out of there. And I might comment, I talked about him changing balls. As we see, watch the